Hey everyone, Wes here again from Scamps Automotive. So today I'm working on a 2008 GMC Yukon. Check engine light on, and the code we have here is a P0523 engine oil pressure circuit high voltage. This is a super common problem for any GM platform. Chevys, GMCs, Cadillacs, these small block V8s. For some reason the oil pressure switches always go bad. When you're looking at the engine here, the oil pressure switch is directly underneath the intake manifold on the back of the motor. So the objective here, we got to take this guy off and get to the switch. As you see, I've already taken the intake ductwork off there, and I've already disconnected some electrical connectors and whatnot. The way I like to do it is I take off the serpentine belt and I remove the alternator, because this guy's going to get in your way when you try to pull the intake manifold off. I'm going to show you the fastest possible way to do this with taking the least amount of things off. I've already, you can see, I've disconnected all 4 fuel injectors on this side. Do the same thing on the other side here. All 4 fuel injectors disconnected. Okay, so I start by removing your alternator here. It's 2 15mm bolts. Come out pretty easy. There's one. There's 2. Now this alternator, it's going to be kind of wedged in here, so you need to get a screwdriver or a pry bar or something and just pry it up on each side. Boom, there's your alternator. Okay, now what you want to do is disconnect your fuel line right back here. If you guys can see that. What I use, I have this kit of these quick disconnects right here. I believe it's going to be, no, it's going to be the blue one. So that's a 3/8 inch fuel line there. There will be some residual pressure in here, so if you want to use a rag or something to catch all the fuel, you can do that. Just push this and it'll pop right off. Boom, quick disconnect for the wind. See, it's draining fuel out. Just any fuel that's in the rail right now, no biggie. Now your next thing is you can actually leave the fuel rail on when you're doing this. It's the quickest way to do it, in my opinion. You have 5 8mm bolts on each side of the intake that need to come off. Okay, so I got all 8 bolts loose. Now this intake should just pop off. Kaboom. Now you're gonna want to get this wiring harness out of the way. You got this little plastic cover on the back that you need to get the harness over. Also be aware that your brake booster line is connected right to the back of your intake. So that might hold you up. I think I'm just catching it. I'm catching on a bolt or something. Catching the gasket. Okay. So I'll just leave the brake booster hose connected. I snapped the gasket off. That's fine. I got new ones. Okay. So, right here, here's your engine valley. The sky. Right there. That's your oil pressure switch with the connector plugged into it. And that's what we're changing. Okay, so I'm going to replace the oil pressure switch here. Wrench. You're going to need a special oil pressure switch socket. It is 1 1/16 inches. I bought this at O'Reilly's, but I don't think you can use just a normal 6-sided socket, even this size, because of the shape of the oil pressure switch, maybe. Anyway, this thing fits perfectly on there. You just unthread it. Real simple. See how easy it was to break that loose? Just remember, that's all you need when you put it on too, just a snug. And there's your old switch. Grab the new one. Move this up a little bit. That's it. Just want to make sure. Plug it back in and you're done. Now, a couple other things you need to do. As you see, I took some time to clean up my intake ports. Just take a rag and some brake clean and clean all around where the gaskets are going to seat. All that crud. Be mindful of all this dirt and crap that's going to fall into your engine. So what you can do is shove a bunch of shop towels or rags or something down the intake ports and try to prevent as much of it as you can. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of junk underneath it. There always is, seems like. And now I just need to put this wiring harness over, carefully set this intake back in without dislodging a gasket. Get your harness where it should be. It. She's happy. Start working the bolts in by hand. Make sure you're where you need to be. Hey, sorry guys, my camera died before I could finish that last job. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Just wanted to show you exactly where the oil pressure switch was and a few things to keep in mind on this job. You don't need to take the fuel rail completely off, and make sure you replace the make sure you replace the intake manifold gaskets, and you don't need to over tighten that oil pressure switch. And that's all there is to it. A shop's going to charge quite a bit for this job, and like I said, it's a super common failure for any small block Chevy from like 2006 till they switched over to the next body styles, all the way up to like 2013. For some reason those years the oil pressure switch always goes bad. I don't know, I've done dozens of them. So hopefully this helped and can save you a little bit of money. From Scamps Automotive, keep on wrenching.